Right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be looking this evening at using GarageBand to tell stories with a bit of music. But actually, one of the things I want to say to all of you is that GarageBand is the app that people say, I can't use this, I'm not doing it, it's too hard. So, what I want to say to you is that by the end of today's session, it won't be too hard and you will be able to do it. And you need no musical skills to do this. So, that's hopefully what we'll give you this afternoon. So, um, who are we? So my name is Mark Moran. I'm the head of ICLT at the Prospect Trust. I'm an Apple professional learning specialist as well. So I work throughout my trust to develop the use of iPad at my school, and then the wider trust looking at mobile technology and how we do that. We have a quite a mixed economy in our trust. And my friend over here is Stu.
Hi everyone, I'm Stu Young. I'm one of the heads of year and a PE teacher here at Tomlinscote School. I'm one of the digital champions, a Google educator and an Apple teacher as part of that role. And the main thing that I really do through my role as a digital champion is support my colleagues, not only in the PE department, but across the school in embedding technology more effectively in their learning.
Brilliant.
And teaching, obviously.
Yeah,
This is
maybe.
not just about the staff learning after
Is it?
all.
No, I suppose. So we're an Apple Regional Training Centre. We hope that over time that we help you build your own skills and confidence using Apple technology. And we are developing this community. And I think we do share best practice and inspire you through teaching with Apple technology to try new things each week. So it's quite exciting, and it's really great to see you doing new things each week. So you can follow us and tweet us on @ProspectRTC. Our Eventbrite link is going, and the Twitter is going into the chat now. Stu's on that. And you can email us on rtc@theprospecttrust.org.uk. This session is being recorded and will be available to you tomorrow morning once I've downloaded it and tweaked it a little bit. So, and you can watch that back at your heart's content. So what we're looking at today, so we've had welcome and introductions, and we are looking to use GarageBand to create a sound story. Okay, really quite simple to do. We will look at Apple Teacher, and we'll get your GarageBand Apple Teacher badge, which will be great. That's the one that everybody freaks out about because it's so hard. It's not. It's easy. So I'm going to stick this in the chat. So how can sound enhance the learning experience for learners? So have a think about that. Can you stick your answer to that in the chat? What do you think? How can sound enhance the learning experience for learners? So I'm just going to give you a few tips and tricks as you're writing for me. So one of the things I think that creativity in learning produces a positive critical outcome, which can be enhanced using technology. I think one of the things that we've got to think about is building that really supportive and collaborative culture. So you've got a number of different things to think about when you're trying to enhance that learning experience. So think about answering that question. How do you think about it? So think about what sound does when you hear a song or you hear a sound. What happens to your memory? What physically goes on? And how could that be used in the classroom with young people? Because that's the key. Stu's going for it now. So everybody else is going, oh, my brain hurts. It's too much. Nikki's going for it. We like it. Emotional responses associated with learning content. Yeah.
Hear a bit of music, triggers
absolutely
that emotional response in us. I think hopefully through what we're doing tonight as well, you'll get a feel for how that can work in a different way as well.
Absolutely. So fun sounds for enhancing movies, presentations, stories, videos. Yeah, Zoe? Yeah, absolutely. Think about the link between if you're talking about something and you add that sound, then you're creating links inside your head, and the children will be doing that too. So you think about all those links coming together.
It's almost like that triple threat, isn't it? If you put some words, you put some images, you get your dual coding, but by adding some sound, whether it be a voice note or some music, it just gives it that extra dimension that helps you learn a little bit more.
Brilliant. Yes, Isabella, it does stick, and it's about those audible labels that you're using.
Audio and visual memory linking from Nikki as well.
Yeah, brilliant. So what's in it for you? Students, totally engaged and immersed in creating a resource that brings learning to life. I found some research by Zettel, 1990, and he said that literal sounds can be really effective in communicating information in a learning environment. And Stu's going to put that link to that into the chat so that you can then use that. Now, one of the things we found is that if you open that link while the session is live, then you'll be able to see it. So any of the links that we do give, you open them during the session, not at the end, because you lose the chat, I think, at the end. So make sure you do that. So how does it enhance learning? Students use sound or sounds, and it could be sound effects or music to bring that learning or process to life. You could think about that verbal rehearsal helps to improve that written answers, and they have to think about a range of different information to create that soundscape, because that's what we're asking them to do. Students can really easily export their songs to other applications. Think about the work we've done in Pages and what we'll look at in Keynote and in iMovie. So you can export all of that and use what we're going to do in GarageBand today to enhance what we're doing. GarageBand, it's just a different approach, and it really is. People say to me, I don't have time to learn it, but actually if you have time where you can stop and think and redefine or modify something you've always done and thought, well, it's sort of all right the way we've always done it, but if I do it this way, it could be really exciting, and the children will love it. So I'm going to take you back to John Hattie. So we're looking at visible learning, imagery, and I do mean imagery.
She went for a walk.
In a very in a position where it's not just images, but it could be sound, it could be taste, it could be smell, touch, and all of those things together make you or create a really strong learning environment for the young people. It has an effect size of 0.51, so not the greatest, but it still will help to accelerate student achievement, which is what we're looking for. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a demo, and I've created on my iPad. Let's see what we've got. So with a bit of luck, let's do that. Yay! Ooh, that's the wrong one. Oh, no, there we go. So you can see that on the board. So you can see this is terrifying GarageBand. And by the end of today, it won't be so terrifying. So this is a little story that I did for you.
It was noon and the sky was black. There had been darkness over the kingdom for half a century. Oh, it's so dark. For many years before, the people of the earth have not taken care of their home.
Did you hear that? I'm just checking, stick it in the chat, make sure you did hear that. Because if you can't hear it, we're off to a loser today. So with a bit of luck, that has, yeah, we heard that. That's great, fab. And we've got that, good. So here we go. Another question going into the chat. Why might GarageBand be a good tool to elaborate a process or a story? Yes, it was eerie, Isabel. Yeah, Isabella. Why might GarageBand be a good tool to elaborate a process or a story? Stick your answers into the chat. I'll let you think. I'll stop. I won't talk for a bit. I'll have a drink of water.
Was that the Beast of Buckingham Palace?
It was. The Beast of Buckingham Palace. David Walliams. So that's what we're going to be using today. So why do you think GarageBand might be a good tool to elaborate a process or a story? Who's going to be brave enough to stick their answer in the chat? Give you a few more seconds and then I'll have a think about that as I'm wittering away, and then we'll look at that. So I'm just going to close GarageBand on my iPad for a second, get going, and okay. So let's have a look. So while you're thinking about that, let's have a look. I've got everything in the wrong order today. So there we go. So we've got our iPad. So we're going to start using GarageBand. I'm going to go really nice and slowly this week because I know that GarageBand is the tool that most people are frightened of. So I'm going to open GarageBand on my iPad. So as always, top tip, just pull down from the middle and then type in GarageBand at the top and tap GarageBand to open.
Do you know what? That top tip has saved me so much time in the last probably 12 weeks of actually doing this, because I've got out of the habit now of going, where's that app? And I've just moved all my apps around as well, so it would have been even worse. So yeah. We had a bit of an issue last week where it dropped all my apps off the iPad home screen.
Oopsie.
And then put them back in a random order.
Did it?
So I have to use the search now. So
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It is a massive help.
I've actually done that on my phone so that the search, I don't have anything organized. I just search for them all. It works. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start a new song. And because we're going to start a song with an audio recorder, we've got two choices. I'm going to show you the easy way, then I'm going to show you the proper way. Okay, because they do two slightly different things. So the easy way, if we look up to the top of the screen, see where my finger is, I'm going to tap the little microphone button. And when I tap the microphone button, what that does for me is it opens up and starts straight into my audio recorder. However, if you're not quite sure what it's doing, then you might think to yourself, why is there a chipmunk up in the top and what is going on here? So I'm going to say to you, don't do that. I'm going to ask you to do it a slightly different way. So I'm going to close that and I'm going to click plus at the top right. Okay, so that then gives me access to all the different things that we can add into GarageBand. So I'm going to scroll along and I'm going to ignore all of the instruments today until I get to audio recorder. When I get to here, I'm going to click on voice. Okay. So I've got that there. Yes.
Yes,
very
Isabella.
nice. Very nice.
Like that one.
So can you see now it looks slightly different. When it opened before, it was open on fun. Didn't want it on fun. Now it's opened on studio. I've got a nice big lead vocals in the middle. I've got some parameters that I can change. I'm not too worried about those parameters for the moment, but there's a few things that we need to make sure that we do before we get going. Okay, so at the top of the page, can you see there's a little plus button? So the first thing I'm going to do is tap that plus button. And that tells me I've got a song section that lasts for 8 bars. So at the end of 8 bars, if I was to record, it stops recording. That is a pain. So it's easy to change. Click section A, click automatic. That's all you need to do. So it's now on automatic. It will just keep recording now, which is great. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tap in the box that says lead vocals. I'm going to scroll down to narrator. and notice how the options at the bottom change a little bit. We might come up to play with these in a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it. The main thing I'm interested in is the input volume, this big slider here on the left-hand side. So if I slide that up to the top, which I see a lot of students do, it goes into the red. So when I talk and do anything with it, it's going to make a racket and it's going to sound terrible. So all I'm going to make sure is that it's loud enough, but when I speak really loud, oh, that might be too much. It doesn't go red or amber. So I make sure that it's nice and loud. Okay, so that's not too bad. The last thing I'm going to do is go up to the top. I'm going to click this little button up at the top. That is the metronome button, and I'm going to switch that off. So that has me got my recording sorted. Okay, I need to record something. So let's slide open the dock. Slide open the dock, there it is, and I'm going to put my photos on the left-hand side. This is slide over for those of you that are not quite sure. So I've got a little bit of text in here. Now, the GarageBand is a full screen app. So you need to remember that I can't have something on side by side. You have to have it on slide over, but that works quite nicely. And you can have anything on slide over. My students do that so that they'll open a book on the side with instructions on the side, and then they'll follow the instructions. So we're ready to go. So this is the text that I'm going to use. Let's see how much we can do. I'm sure I'm not going to get all of this, but I'm just going to record this first sentence. Okay. To do that, I'm going to click the red record button, and I'm just going to record. It gives me a countdown, which is quite cool, and then I can go off on my own. It was noon and the sky was black. There had been darkness over the kingdom for half a century, for many years before, the people of the earth had not taken care of their home. That'll do for the moment, okay? So I don't need that text, and that text is from, what's it called?
The Beast of Buckingham Palace by David Walliams.
Yeah, so
It's one of the kids' books.
Yeah, Stu recommended this to me, so it's one of the his kids are reading it at the moment. So let's have a listen to that back.
It was noon and the sky was black. There had been darkness over the kingdom for half a century, for many years before, the people of the earth had not taken care of their home.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it? So I didn't make a mess of it. That was all right. So let me give you a few tips and tricks on here. Can you see I can scrub through my recording at the top just with my finger and move it round about, which is quite nice. And what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to rename this track. So I'm just going to tap on here, and I'm going to click on where it says rename, and I'm going to press the cross to delete narrator, and I'm going to add on here the Beast of Buckingham Palace. Okay, there we go. That'll do. So that's me got my soundtrack. Now, so we'll come back to that track later, because we're going to think about adding some other things into that. So at the beginning of my my piece, I started off with some atmospheric loops. Okay, no musical what's the word I'm looking for? Ability. That's the one. I've lost the ability to speak tonight. But it's really quite simple to add some different tracks. Now, I want to get rid of this big narrator bit at the bottom because I don't need it. So I'm going to click the tracks button at the top, and I'm just going to delete that. It's gone. That's quite nice. Now, what I'm going to now do is that I'm going to start by adding some loops. So if you look at the top right-hand corner, can you see I've got a loop button? So I'm going to click on there. So I'm going to click on Apple Loops, And then inside Apple Loops, I've got all these different loops that I've got access to. Now, what I find with children is that they start here and they go, oh yeah, I want that one. And they just press all the loops that are in this section at the top. But actually, there are lots and lots. So let's have a think about this. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the top. I could click on instruments, and that gives me some access to different instruments that I could use. I could click on genres, which is quite nice, and then think about adding some different genres, and we'll come to the sound effects in a minute. Or I could click to descriptors. Now we had that earlier, didn't we? So it was quite eerie. So let's look at that. So which descriptor could I use? So there's some words maybe the children don't understand, maybe dissonant. So that sounds that clash. But let's try, shall we try dark?
Let's try dark.
Yeah. So if I go back, what it now does is it filters all these sounds that sound quite dark. Now, if I want to have a listen to them, what I need to then do is to just tap on them and then see which ones are like. Tap on them to play, tap on them to stop. Okay. Okay. Ooh, I think that's the one I used in mine. Yeah. And then you have different versions of. I quite like that one. This is where it's really hard, guys. I want to add that to my track list. Literally click on it, drag it. Okay, there it is. It's done. Okay. Now, can you see that I'm pinching and zooming? Okay. And to make it even easier for me, it's added that across the whole of my piece. So if I tap on it, I can then choose how much of that little sequence I want to use. So this is where my kids get a bit confused. Can you see that there are little yellow notches and they line up with the bar numbers at the top? So if I put that to bar 2, that lines up to there. Bar 2, 3 lines up. That's quite important. Okay, what I'm going to do, we're going to start off with that. So I want to move this track. So I tap on it and I'm just going to drag it and move it. Okay, so what I've now got is that.
It was noon.
Okay, that's quite nice. Quite like that. So, but that on its own is not very exciting. So I think we need another loop. Yeah?
Yeah.
What sort of loop do we want? So let's click on a loop. We've still got dark, which is quite good. Maybe we'll go to filters and we'll go to bass this time. Some of them are a bit, nah. Let's zoom to the end. Nope.
No.
So this is where the children, when they're thinking about, they have to think about the mood of the piece that they're thinking about. They've got to understand and actually really think about what it is they're trying to create. Ooh. Oh. So
Sounds a bit War of the Worlds.
yeah,
that one.
it does. Let's try that and let's drop that in. So I'm going to take that one. Now, I dropped that onto a new track. So can you see now I've got my audio track at the top, I've got my piano track here, and I've got my bass track here. Notice how that I've dropped this starting on bar 3. So I'm just going to shunt this along a little bit more. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, that'll do. That's all right. It's quite nice. Quite like that. Right. So that sounds quite nice, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite good. So if we're going to add some other sounds to this, we need some sound effects, don't we? So it's almost a sort of post-apocalyptic. What do we think? What sort of sounds? Stick them in the chat. So post-apocalyptic sound. So what could we do? So that sort of thing. What sort of things could we add to this? Stick them in the chat. Give me some ideas. Throw me some curveballs and let's see what we've got. Post-apocalyptic. Anybody got any ideas? It's either that or you have to put up with mine. Okay, so if you do come up with ideas, let's add a new one. So I'm going to click on
explosions and screaming.
Screaming. Oh, right, Zoe. I know where you're coming from. Okay, so let's click on howling. Woo. Yep. Okay, sounds like my evening. Here we go. So let's do that. So I'm going to clear all those filters. I'm going to click on descriptors. No, I'm not. I'm going to click on genres, and I'm going to go down to sound effects. Now, you might find that your sound effects don't exist. They're not there. Mine are, because I've added them. So let's just double check and show you how to do that. So I'm going to go up to the top left of my screen and tap the instrument chooser, and I'm going to scroll along to where it says sound library. So if I tap on the sound library, you can see that what Apple do for you when it loads up. It's just going to be nice and slow tonight, as always. Don't know why it's slow tonight. Have a cup of tea, you know. Come on.
Grab a biscuit.
Grab a biscuit. Yeah, absolutely. You could do, couldn't you? It's typical that it goes. So there are lots of soundtracks. So look at this. It's not loading my. Oh. So sometimes it throws a wobbly. I'm just going to drop GarageBand. Let's dump that for the moment. Let's open you again. Let's see if that helps. Click on my sound library. Come on, GarageBand. Don't you just love it when it throws a wobbly at you?
It's always when you really need it not to as well.
Yeah.
So Isabella's asked, these are free.
Yes.
Sound library, I mean.
Everything is free in GarageBand. So what Apple have done, I'm just gonna switch my Wi-Fi off and on and see if that. So everything in the sound library are free, which is fantastic. So I'm hoping that will just reconnect to my Wi-Fi. Allow me to click on that.
There you go.
There we go. So my Wi-Fi timed out. So look at all these sounds that you can get. So what the children can do is go down, or what you can do, think, right, okay, we're doing some work on China. So I can click on Chinese traditional instruments and click the button that says get. Okay. Oh, get. Obviously it's working really fast now and it's downloading, which is fabulous. But the one where all the sound effects are is this one here that says Toy Box. Okay, so you click on Toy Box and you press get beside it. Now, what I could do is click Manage Packs, and that's a quick way of just downloading all the packs. Now, a word to the wise. If you don't use GarageBand every day, I wouldn't suggest downloading all these sound packs, because GarageBand will then take up over 3 gig of your iPad space. So choose the ones that you need, not all of them. I could download them all, because I do download them all the time, but I'd reset my GarageBand for you this evening. Okay, so really simple to download different sound effects and loops. So if I wanted some percussionists or some different electronic sounds, I can download all of them, which is really great. When I'm finished, press done. Okay, so I'm just going to click back to go back to my my piece, and I'm going to add a sound effect. So what have we got? Howling, explosions, screaming. Right, so let's click here. Let's click on genres. Let's click on sound effects.
And what you will see as well, Mark added the Chinese traditional there. Previously, it was grayed out. It's now
there,
live and
ready to go.
All ready to go. So any that are grayed out, go to the sound library and you can download them, and they will then be accessible for you from that loops.
So you could scroll through and try and find them, or you can click in the search box and let's look for explosion. No, sorry, Zoe, no explosions. I've got some ideas what we can make. So screaming.
There's an air raid siren as well.
Yeah,
we could use.
Screaming. Look, do that. There's no screaming either, but you might have some wonderful little voices in your class that, if we've got time at the end, I'll show you how to create your own screaming. So really simple. You will find as you go through. So there are all sorts. We could have. Oh. All right. So I think I'm going to add a bison roar. I'm going to drag that. So let's drag that up to the beginning. Let's add another few. Let's. I quite like this air raid siren. So I'm going to drag that on too. Put that there. Let's move that. Okay, so we've got, let's have a listen to see what that sounds like. Yeah, so this is where processing listening is really important. So that bison roar is not quite in the right place. I'm just going to shift it along a little bit. What have we got there? Let's whiz down. Crazy.
Discovery 4 computers now have primary control of critical.
Oh, let's do that. I couldn't use the dog ones at home because the dogs went mad when I tried to do it. So there's my beginning. Do you know what? This bison roar sounds blooming rubbish.
It's rubbish.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. It's not much use.
It's not very good. So I could take that whole track out, and I'm going to tap on the track, tap it on it again, and press delete. That's that track gone. So it makes life so much easier. We've got a dog in there. Let's just see what we've got.
We haven't got any screaming. Have we got any howling or anything?
Howling, yes.
A fox cry. A fox cry is quite a scary.
No.
No.
Let's try howl. So let's go to search. Howl. Yeah, absolutely. Here we got fox howl, wolf howl. Yeah, I'll have that. Or this one.
Oh, that one. That's
yeah,
the scary
that's
one.
the one. So we take that. We're just going to drag that on here. So we'll put that there. So let's make sure we've got it in the right place. Pull it back.
It was noon.
Right, brilliant, fantastic. Right, so it's all a bit messy at the moment. It's a bit of a disaster. So what I want to do is to try and break up my track. Now, top tip, same as last week, if you're editing and moving things, use 2 fingers. So I see lots of people doing this sort of weird stuff and they end up, oh, it's terrible. Put 2 fingers on the screen and then you can zoom in and zoom out. Zoom in, zoom out. That looks quite nice. So what I want to do is that I want to just go back to my first track up at the top and I want to chop it up because there are a few bits in it that I just want to sort out. So let's go to that. So, but I don't want to listen to the rest of it. So I'm just going to click this little button here, the headphones, and that just mutes all of the other tracks. So that button is called solo, okay? So that's solos, so it mutes all the other tracks. The button beside it is mute, so that it mutes all of them, all the other tracks. So we're on solo. No.
It was noon and the sky was black.
Right. Let's take that. So let's cut this. So I'm going to tap on that because we're going to split this up into a few little chunks. I'm going to tap on my track now, and I'm going to press split. Can you now see I've got a let's see. Is that any better? My camera's having a bit of a fit today. No. So you can see there's a little pair of scissors. Pull down, and I've split that in half. So I now can move this along, which is quite helpful. So I can move that. So that allows you, or the children, just to chunk. So you could record a big long bit of audio and then break it into little chunks. So let's move that along and let's listen to the next bit.
There had been darkness over the kingdom for half a century, for many years before the people...
Yeah, that sounds really quite bad, doesn't it, Stu?
Yeah, it's not ideal.
It's not ideal. So I'm just going to cut that. I'm going to split that. And now, I think I can use some of this, but not all of it.
For
I don't like
many
that.
years before, the people of the earth had not taken care of their home.
I'm just going to take that, all of that out. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to move that to here. I'm going to slide that back on again. And I'm going to re-record this little section for many years. So if I move that, now, the recording starts where the record line is. So if your record line is here, that's where the recording will start. If it's there, that's where it starts. So let's move it to a space. So there's a bit of a gap, and I'm going to stick it there. I'm going to hit record and slide that on. For many years before, the people of the earth had not taken care of their home. That was better, a little bit. So let's do that. Now, did you notice I should have sorted out my levels? So I'm just going to do that one more time. So I'm going to click on there. I'm just going to delete that one more time. I'm just going to move my level up again to make sure it's okay. Slide that back on. So it's really nice, this slide over, because you can slide it on and off and on and off, which is quite good. For many years before, the people of the earth had not taken care of their home. That's better. Yeah, look at that. So can you see the waveform is so much bigger? Often I see either it too big, so that it will actually sound terrible when you record it, or it's really, really little, which means it's rather tricky to play with. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So let's get that gone. Now, actually, it sounds a bit boring, this, doesn't it?
It was noon.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very spooky. Let's make it sound spooky. So let's add some effects onto that. So I'm going to click the settings button at the top of the page. And I'm going to go down where it says master effects. So what I also see is this. Master effects, echo, reverb, go! And then it sounds like this. Yeah, that sounds terrible. So you've got to think about these effects and just be really, really careful with using them.
It was noon and the sky was black.
That's nice. I quite like that. So let's move that to there.
There had been darkness over the kingdom for half a century.
Yeah, that's quite nice. And move that to here.
For many years before, the people of the earth had not taken care of their home.
Brilliant. Okay, so I quite like that. It's quite nice. So I can get rid of that. Bosh, gone. I can slide this away to give me a little bit more space. And I've got my whole track, or my whole piece here. I'm just going to switch everything back on again. Now, I want to then take this and I want to run it through to about here. I'm going to take this and run that through to about there too. So I think there was something in here.
There had been darkness over the kingdom for half a century.
Oh, why don't we record our own bit?
Yeah.
That would be cool. So that you could record your own screaming or explosions or whatever. But I'm going to record a little bit of groaning and moaning. Yeah, it's just like a normal day, really, isn't it, Stu?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to do
Generally
this.
what I'm greeted with when I walk in this room.
So to do this, I'm going to click the plus button at the bottom of the screen there. So I'm going to click plus, scroll along slowly. La, 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 la. Audio recorder. This is where we started. Click voice. Now, I'm going to click on where it says fun. Okay. Now, and in fact, I'm going to make sure, make sure that my level is good, which is good. Notice how when I add that on, when I record that, it's switched on my solo button. The reason for that is that if I want to record something without that, it will hear all the other stuff. So let me show you what happens if I record. So if I do this, so press OK, and in order to do this, we're going to start with a clean sound. Okay, I hear lots of kids start recording with an edited sound, and it just doesn't work. Start clean, then change it. So I'm going to click plus. It's going to sound terrible.
Over the kingdom for half a century.
No, no.
For many years before, the people of the earth.
Oh, that sounds not very good, does it?
Century.
Oh, that's terrible. That didn't even do nothing. Stu is rubbish. So I'm just going to press undo. Don't like that. I'm going to put that on solo, and I'm going to move that to where. Let me just. It really doesn't matter where to put it because I can move it, which is quite cool. I'm ready to go. I'm going to unsolo that one, so I've got that one going. I'm ready to record. No! Oh, why is it so dark? Yeah, okay, quite like that. That's quite good. No! Oh, why is it so dark? Let's have a bit of a play with it. So I could turn myself into a chipmunk.
No!
Yeah, no.
Why is this?
Okay, it could be a monster. Sometimes the monster's not so good. Let's try a robot. Oh, that's terrible. Let's go to dreamy. Ooh, what does that do? No. Oh, why is it so dark? I quite like that. Right, so I quite like that. It's quite nice. Now, I want to create a little bit of space. So if I put the space up, listen to... Can you hear the difference? So it's a really good idea when you're playing something to play around with the knobs. What does it do? What do the knobs do? So play around with them. So I quite like that. We learned a technique before, so let's add a little bit of echo and reverb to that. Let's make sure that we wind it back. No! Oh, why is it so dark? Okay, that's quite nice. I'm just going to turn the volume down as well, which is also really good. Oh, let's wind it back. Good, right, brilliant. So I'm going to switch my solo off, and let's hear that with everything playing. So let's go back to here. Let's close everything down. Let's move that to there.
There had been darkness over the kingdom for half a century. For many years before, the people of the earth.
Stu, it's all just really noisy.
It is very noisy.
Oh, right. So
it's all got a bit busy.
It's all got a bit busy, and this is the tricky bit in GarageBand. So let me show you the easy way to fix it. So the easy way to fix it. How much time have I got? Oh God, I'm running out of time. I get excited with GarageBand. This is half my problem, isn't it, Stu?
It is.
Get very excited. So let's look at that. So what I can do is tap on the track, and as it's playing, I can adjust the volume level. Okay, I could do that. Right, so That's one thing I can do. But you might want a little bit more control. I'm going to use my pencil for this. I'm going to do it in one track so that you get your head around this. So if I tap on that track there, I'm going to click the button that says automation, because what I wanted to do is start quietly and get louder. Okay, so I'm going to sort of build a table. So I'm going to click automation. It opens up this really scary it makes the whole track area much bigger. So I'm going to tap onto this track, and can you see the line that I've tapped onto? That's your volume line. I can move it up and down. So that is 0 there. Okay. So we've got to decide how loud that's going to be. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. If I tap on the track again, notice that it turns it yellow. If I then tap on this little ball and then drag it across the end, I've now got 2 dots. Now to make a table, I need 4 dots. So I need to tap on the track again, make it yellow, drag that along. Tap on the track again, make it yellow, bring it along. I've now got 4 dots. So I can then move those dots up and down. So what I've now got is this. All right, that sounds quite nice. I don't want it quite so loud. So I could quickly do the same on this track. So if I click on that, I can tap on the track. So you can see how quickly, once you get your head around it. So I just want it to go up. And actually the automation can start earlier than that. So there we go, look at that. See?
It was noon and the sky was black.
So that's quite nice. So I can then just turn down maybe my bass track. And when I'm finished with my automation, I click done. So that's quite nice. It's quite an easy way to add automation in. And in the track that I did, the demo that I did before to show you, there was a lot of automation in each of the tracks. But you get the sort of idea. So we're finished a piece, I think. I think we've got, it sounds pretty good. So let's think about how are we going to then share that. So we're going to click the button over at the top here, the little page button, and we're going to tap that to share it. Yeah, I've got quite a few songs in here, Stu. I'm not very good at renaming them, am I?
No, not at all.
Some of them I do, but some of them I don't. So long press and then click rename. Okay, so I can call this Beastie. No, not BT. Beastie. So that'll do. Maybe, is it Beastly? That would be even better. So Beastly. I like that. And then press return. So I've got my Beastly track. Now this is where on the this song chooser I can export my track. So if I press and hold that track, to export it, I'm going to click on share at the bottom. So if I click on share, now I've got 3 choices. I can create a ringtone with a really cool thing that I've made, put it on my phone.
That would scare the students if that went off in a lesson.
Yeah, I won't tell you what I've done to my poor wife. So I've done that before. I could do it as a project. So if I wanted to share a project and then collaborate in a project, that's what I do. But actually what I'm interested in this afternoon is clicking song. So I'm going to click song. I then get some choices. Now, actually, I ignore all of this here because high quality is all I need. Okay, you could make it Apple lossless, but the better the quality as you go up here, the bigger the file is and the longer it takes to export. So I'll leave it on high quality. 192 kilobits is better than iTunes. Okay, so we can then edit the artist names. We can edit the album names. We can call it what we call it the Beast of Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
The Beast of Buckingham Palace. There we go. And if we wanted to, we could add a cover image to that, so we could add a nice photo. Literally click choose photo, opens up photos, and then adds that in. Okay, so I'm not going to do that.
So that'd be quite good. You could almost download a screenshot of the book cover that you're doing.
Yeah.
Create the album, and then you have the various tracks all related to that album, couldn't you?
Just need to be quite careful about copyright.
Yeah.
So click share, and it then opens up yet another little sharing sheet. So I can airdrop it. I can then send it to people via iMessage. I could drop it to OneDrive. I could share it in schoolwork. I could put it into Drive or Google Classroom or whatever. But what I want to do is save it, okay? And this is where it's not particularly intuitive. In order to save it, I need to click on Open In. So I'm going to click Open In, and it exports the song. Now, depending on the length of your song, I've had some songs that take quite some time to export. So let's export it and leave it exporting away to itself. So while that's exporting, there, it's done. Look at that. And what I'm going to do is save it to files. Okay. So I could share it on Teams. I could push it straight to Google Classroom. I'm going to save it to files. Click iCloud Drive, and then I could put it wherever I wanted. I could go to a folder, or I could create a folder. So music files. Press done. Oh yeah, music files. Yeah, up 3. I might not have a 2. There it is. Yep, and then press save. Okay, so that then exports that very nicely. And if I want to just double check that, let's go to files. Let's go to iCloud Drive. Let's go to music files 3, and there is my track. If I tap on it once, there's my song or my music. So nice and simple to do. Hopefully that's been helpful. I think we've done enough to get our badge, Stu. What do you think?
I think we have.
Right, okay, let's give it a bash. Let's go to here. So I'm on the Apple Teacher Learning Center. I've already gone to GarageBand, and I've gone down to earn my badge. So if I click on earn your badge, right, so you want to organize several new songs to support your music history curriculum. Where can you create, duplicate, and organize your songs? So anybody get any idea where you might want to do that? Is it settings? Is it the loop browser? Is the live loops grid? We didn't even look at live loops tonight.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. There's only, it's giant. So actually, the My Songs browser, if you just go to that bit there. So if I go to GarageBand, this is the My Songs browser. Okay, so that's where you want to put them. So My Songs browser, tap on there, click submit. Let's see whether or not iCloud's going to play ball tonight. It's been a bit slow today, isn't it? Right, nice. We got it. Yes. Let's go. Next question. Right. Students have recorded themselves reading stories that younger students will listen to as they read along. They want to trim regions that contain too much silence. Which of the following allows them to see and edit the recordings in the tracks view? Now, we did that. So if I open up on here, now I can, if I go to here, click on here, it doesn't always show me that tracks view, but can you see the one that looks like a brick wall at the top beside the chooser? That is the tracks view there. So when I tap that, it goes back to here, so that it shows me all the tracks. So that's the box we want there, which is really helpful. That's what we're looking for. Nice one. So
me too, Isabella. You've noticed I've been quite quiet tonight. I don't get a lot of practice with GarageBand.
That's fine, Isabella. Lovely to see you. We'll send you the recording tomorrow. Right, so where in the tracks view can you change the song length so that automatically fits to the length of your recording? We did this at the very beginning. Can anybody remember? Can anybody remember? Is it time signatures, song sections, master effects, metronome? Anybody get any ideas? Stu, can you remember?
No.
Stu's brain's gone. No,
My brain's
please.
gone to mush.
Right, so we're here. Okay, so if I click the little plus button at the top right, so if I tap on that, that's my song sections button.
That's what it was called.
All right, so and we've set that to yes, absolutely. So we make sure that's set to automatic. The amount of times I've had to pick up kids who are in tears because they've done things a million times, and it keeps on, it gets to the end of the 4 bars or 8 bars and then starts again.
Just the kids.
Yeah, well, there's, yeah. Yeah. Everybody. So it is song sections.
Song sections.
Submit answer. Fantastic. Right, let's hope we don't get a difficult question. I hate these ones. Right. You want your students to create music that represents different cultures and traditions using live loops. I didn't show you how to use live loops. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So one of the things, so on GarageBand, it's got this really cool thing. So if we go here, I'm going to create something new. And instead of having it on tracks at the top, I'm going to click live loops. And it's got, and do you know what? Kids love this, but they go a bit mad.
Yeah.
So if I type on EDM, it gives me a series of loops all in little boxes that allow me to just can have a disco to myself. Woo! Right. Oh, stop. Right. So in order to trigger a whole set of loops, I literally press this little arrow at the bottom. See where my finger is? Doop, 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 doop. I click that arrow. I want that one. Okay, and off I go. So, right. Oh my goodness. Right. So where we got? Choose the live loop, select a template. That's the first thing we've got to do. Okay. Tap the record button, trigger, and then tap the trigger button to play an entire column. Yes. Or is it tap the add button?
Isn't it tap the add button first?
Yeah. It could be tap the add button, choose live loop, select a template. Very good, Stu.
See, I was paying attention.
Paying attention. Tap the record button, then trigger the entire column, tap stop when you're finished. That's what we did. So if I go back to here, so let's do that. So we're here, we click add, we click live loops, we choose a live loop, we press record, trigger. That's it. And when we're finished, we press stop, and that's it done. Amazing. Look at me. I'm such a musician. Submit. I'm a musician, actually, really. You wouldn't know. Right, this is an easy one. Apple loops. Which one? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Get in the chat now. Go. Did a lot of this tonight. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Who's the first one that can do it?
2, M. Lucas and Nikki.
Yes, it is. So this is the metronome. This is the live loops. These are the track settings. What's this? What's that do? Going, no. That's your live loops. Okay. No, that's the loops grid. Press submit. So I reckon we've got our GarageBand badge, Stu.
Yes. How many times is that you've now got your GarageBand?
1 million. Maybe. There we go. So I've got my badge. Hopefully you have been doing that along with us and you've got your badge. Maybe not. But you can go back through this. Everything that I've done this afternoon will enable you to get that badge. Right. So look at that. Thank you, George.
Thank you, George. All the best to everyone in Naples, Florida.
Absolutely. So let's see if we can get this to go up. Right. So One of the things that Gallup says, I see a noticeable impact on student engagement, but I don't know if our assessments have caught up to measure creativity. Lots and lots of stuff. Stu's going to put a link to the Gallup
creativity and learning.
Creativity and learning into the chat, the research that's been done. But I think when I've read this through a few times now, and I thought this session, that quote was really pertinent. And I hope that the sessions that we're running enable you to think about how you can use them. But we've got to change the way we do things, because if students are they're enabled to be creative in their lessons, then actually the resources that they come up with are so much more exciting. And it's really, really exciting to see what they come up with, which is quite nice. Right, so let's go to my next one. So we've looked at Apple Teacher, we've got our badge. Questions, I'm going to let you ask questions at the end. So Stu and I, we always hang about to witter. Nice one, Zoe. Fantastic. So next steps, you can look at the link for creativity and learning. Stu's put that in there. He's going to put the future of jobs. We want to create young people that are super amazing, super creative, really innovative, and really think about what it is that they're able to do to support themselves and innovative ways that they can use the technology. Follow us on Twitter. Just post a tweet to say I really enjoyed the GarageBand session. I'm not quite so scared about it anymore. It's not that scary. It's not really. You just got to use it like everything. So we're going to stop for a couple of weeks, Stu.
Yeah, a couple of weeks.
We get a couple of weeks off.
Recharge.
So do you get a little bit of half term coming up. 3 more get ups. And next half term we're looking at assistive tech. So we have a guest star on that session. So it'll be quite exciting. Cool. A bit of work with Apple Classroom and some Quizlet and Keynote coming up just to finish everything off. And when we hit that Keynote session, you should have got all of your Apple Teacher badges and be an Apple Teacher. So by Tuesday the 29th, if not before, you might have got your Apple Teacher badge. So thank you so much for coming. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you found it inspiring, and I hope you found it that actually GarageBand is not quite as scary as you might think. So if you could think about using it tomorrow, let me know what you could do with it. So, and if you want to ask any questions, Stu and I are here to chat. We're just going to sit and witter away to ourselves. But if you've got any questions to ask, please don't hesitate to do so.